And welcome, race fans. We are live coming at you from New Hampshire Speedway here tonight. We are with the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series here on a Thursday night. The Cowboy in the booth with you tonight, flying solo. So it's just me, my pony, and Laura down there in the booth in a trailer pushing the buttons here tonight. New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Let's yak about that here for a minute. Loudon, New Hampshire. 105,000 people on half of this race here tonight. Owner, of course, is Speedway Motorsports. Who else would it be? Broke ground in 1989. They started racing here around 1990. Don't know who designed the place, but I'll tell you what, it's asphalt and granite concrete. It's a 1 mile track, 4 turns here, flat as a pancake, a little bit of drainage angle and, a little bit of angle in the turns for drainage, but hey, you know how that goes. But I'll tell you what, we're here for... I think it's 120 laps here in New Hampshire tonight with, like I said, the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series. I want to take you down through the points and let you know who's who and who is where here in the Asphalt Assault Series. Stefan Marinac, I tell you what, this cowboy is on a roll. 707 points out to the front. He's 55 points out in front of C.J. LeVere. Now, Stefan Marinac, he finished first last week at Daytona. We'll go through those stats here in just a minute. And then C.J. LeVere, like I said, 55 points behind Marinac. He finished in the top 5 at Daytona. Matt Lacrosse, he's sitting in third position here, 82 points behind Stefan Marinac. Matt Lacrosse finished right behind Marinac at Daytona last week. Now, Bobby Terrell, I'll tell you what, this cowboy's on a roll too. Bobby Terrell, he finished 10th at Daytona last week. He's 83 points behind, just 1 point back of Matt Lacrosse. John Abbott sitting in the middle here, 5th position, finished outside the top 10 last week at Daytona. 140 points behind. He's got some making up to do here. 163 points behind. The leader is Brian Harvey, sitting in 6th position. Clint Monahan, I tell you what, his partner Mark Bratcher's got a bone to pick with him. I'll explain that a little bit later, but he's 170 points behind the leader. Now, he shares that seat, 8th position with Rhett McBride, who's also 170 behind. Jose Gonzalez, Tequila Joe, Howdy Cowboy, sitting in 9th position here, 184 back. And then rounding out the top 10 here, 210 back. Douglas Wyatt in 10th position here. I believe that's Hippie's Paint Shop right there. And if you ain't seen it yet, check it out, hippiespaintshop.com. Last week, we were at Daytona International Speedway. I believe it was a night race, if I'm not mistaken. Stefan Marinac won that thing last week. Matt Lacrosse finishing 2nd. And I'll tell you what, Bobby Wetzel putting on a pretty good show, too. Bobby Wetzel started in 20th position, Cowboy, and managed the top 3 out of that. Mark Bratcher, he finished 4th place for Hollywood Motorsports. He started on the front row up there with Marinac, and I'll tell you what, he got about 3 laps led, but good solid finish there. Leading the most laps for the night, finishing 5th, is going to be C.J. LeVere. Now, he started 7th last week at Daytona, but led most of the laps for the night. That's usually not an easy thing to do at a place like Daytona because the lead changes, so often there. But Doug Roth, he finished in 6th position. 7th was Josh Cheney. Now, Doug Roth, he also started in the back, too, 21st position. Cheney started 13th. 8th position finished last week was Douglas Wyatt, and then 9th place went to Brian Harvey, and Bobby Terrell started in the 2nd row, finished inside the top 10 here, but Daytona is always kind of a tough track to handle anyway. I mean, the lead changes come and go like people change their clothes. So, but I'll tell you what, Cowboy, it was a pretty good race. Been there, watched it, and had a lot of fun. Tonight we are at a flat track. New Hampshire, Loudon Speedway. I tell you what, this is going to be something else. 120 laps here with these Cowboys. So we'll kind of hang tight with these guys. And like I said, flying solo here tonight. Got Laura downstairs in the trailer. I might haul her up here and sit here in the chair next to me after a while here. See if we both can't put this thing together. Sorry about that. Had to take a sip of my ice cold beer sitting on the counter here. But I'll tell you what, the race here tonight is sponsored by Inside Sim Racing TV and Derek Spear Designs. And I'll tell you, if you If you haven't checked out those Derek Spears button boxes, you got to do that. DerekSpearsDesigns.com, and he's got quite a few of them over there. But and I understand they're pretty handy to have. For these sim racers, rather than trying to manhandle the keyboard and everything, that gets so awkward. You mount this button box up near your steering wheel, and it's just a matter of flipping switches and pushing buttons instead of trying to reach for a keyboard. What the hell, I had that back in the old NASCAR 2003 days. Boy, ain't that ancient history, cowboy. We're about a minute and a half, minute and 50 minutes, minute and 50 seconds rather, out here from taking it downstairs to Cactus Cuties. I hear the band warming up down there. They're getting ready to sing the national anthem. And then also, like we mentioned, Derek Spear Designs, the other sponsor here tonight is Inside Sim Racing TV. You got to check those guys out too. I mean, you talk about the yellow pages of online racing. They cover it all, not just iRacing, but the whole online racing gamut from R Factor to this Assetto Corto or whatever the hell that thing is, some kind of an Italian car that come out. I know Laura downstairs, she's all jazzed up about that Assetto Corso car. Was showing me that here last week. But I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and send it on down trackside to National Anthem by the Cactus Cuties.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And I tell you what, no better voices down there on the track than the Cactus Cuties, and a big thank you to the virtual Thunderbirds for the flyby. I tell you what, that's another deal we can talk about here later on. Let's run down through the lineup here tonight. Qualifying on the pole, that number 81 machine, Ben Burnett. Outside him, front row here, number 7 of Bobby Terrell. Look out for that car here tonight. CJ LeVere, he starts on the inside, the second row, in a number 4 machine. Rhett McBride, he'll be in the 15 car up on the outside. David Lanza, where'd that cowboy come from? He's in the 33 car. He'll be starting in 5th position on the inside. Outside him is going to be Matt Lacrosse in the 21 car. Eric Arnold, I tell you what, the Navy Nuke, as he used to go by here, the 47 machine on the inside in 7th position. Outside him, Brian Harvey in a 66 machine. He'll start in the 8th position on the outside. Back in the next row, Bo McGuire. He's on the inside of the number 50 car tonight. Outside him, Clint Monahan. I tell you what, your partner in crime on your radio show has been looking for you, cowboy. So I tell you what, we'll talk to you after the race here tonight. Stefan Marinac, 24 machine. I believe he might be. Somebody told me that he had a sub here tonight, but I don't remember. Hell, I'm flying solo tonight. Anyway, outside him, Jimmy North, my partner in crime on the Rewind BS and Backlog Radio Show in the 84 machine. Glenn Campbell, he starts in the 44 machine in 13th position. Jason Lester, he'll start in the 92 on the inside in 14th. In 15th, the 85 of Nathan Bowers. Marvin Turnmeyer Jr. will start in 16th position in the 16 machine. Outside him in the I'm sorry, he's on the outside. Inside, next row, 17th position, the 62, John Wilco. Jimmy Jones will start in the outside in 18th position, the 42, the 77. In 19th belongs to J. Randall Watkins. And in the 38 machine, in the 20th position outside, Mark Bratcher. And Adam Roberts in the 88. He'll start in 21st position with Doug Roth in the 43 on the outside. Augusto Gabdoni, he'll be starting in the 23rd position in the 69 car. Outside of him, the 57 of Barry Hines. As we go green flag racing here, we'll cover the rest of the field with Ed Williams Jr., Bobby Wetzel, Douglas Wyatt, Josh Cheney, and Joey Hilton. Frank Coon's also in the house here tonight, but I'll tell you what, jumping out to a pretty good start up here. Ben Burnett, he's got the lead, but how long will he have it here tonight at New Hampshire? 120 laps on 1 mile track, flat as a pancake, Cowboy. And I'll tell you what, these ponies are a handful here as he opens up a pretty decent little lead out here in front of Bobby Terrell. Checking back through the rest of the field here, pretty much single file. A little battle going down here with Matt Lacrosse, 6th position here. Him in the 47 machine. Eric Arnold motoring right on by on the outside. So I don't know, 21 car, Matt Lacrosse just kind of feeling his oats here a little bit, but giving up a couple of positions. The 50 car, Bo McGuire, tail end, waggling around there, coming off the turn, getting a little bit loose on the 21 car. Managed to save the day there, Cowboy. But I'll tell you what, these ponies are kind of butt happy here at New Hampshire. But Lacrosse finally climbs into a hole up there, single file all the way back to about Clint Monahan. Glenn Campbell back there in the 44 car, looking on the inside, but thought better of it, takes position on the outside. So far, all the way to the back now, single file. John Wilco, 18th position back here. He's up on the outside in the 62 car. Looks like he's a little getting up in the marbles as he kisses the wall coming off of turn 4 here down the front stretch. So a little damage to the right side of that 62 car here already tonight. 4 laps in the books, 120 on the board here tonight, and John Wilco still having a bunch of trouble here trying to herd that pony of his around New Hampshire Speedway here tonight. And I'm hearing the leader in the wall here a little bit. As go back and take a look at it, just kind of sideswiped it here a little bit, but not a whole lot of damage. That's the 81 car of Ben Burnett here. Still has the lead and a pretty good. Gets sideways, almost losing it here, coming off turn 4, right in front of the fans, coming down the front stretch here. But I'll tell you what. Bobby Terrell watching that happen out there in front of him and saying, come on, Cowboy, give it up for me. But Ben Burnett almost losing it there. But I'll tell you, 6 laps in the books, and this is a track where you got to pay attention, Cowboy, because if you don't, that pony of yours come right out from underneath you on nothing flat. So grab hold of the saddle horn, Cowboy, and hang on for a ride as these guys try to manhandle this track here tonight. But easy as she goes here. Matt Lacrosse, 8th position back here, looking on the inside of the 50 car. That's going to be Bo McGuire up there on the top side here, making a run at it. But the 21 having a little bit of difficulty making it. And McGuire into contact with the 50. The 21 gets sideways, going to lose a couple of positions. McGuire bounces off the wall into the 21. So Matt Lacrosse going after a position here, and actually he loses a couple because of the contact with the 50 machine. But I'll tell you what, 21 car Lacrosse still hanging on here and doing a pretty good job. Well, it's kind of tough. The old Cowboy here, I got to sit in the booth, call the race, engineer this thing, and keep the beer cold for the crew. So I got my work cut out. I got my work cut out for me. I'm still watching the 50 car of Bo McGuire here, hanging on the position. The 24 of Stephen Marinac, looking to grab one here from McGuire. He may be getting it up. Bo, I tell you what, Marinac is a tough cowboy to beat here as they go side by side down the backstretch here. The 50 car, that's Bo McGuire up there on that top side. But I tell you, I've seen these guys make this top side work up here at New Hampshire. So I don't know whether McGuire is going to be that easy to overtake or not, and he is. He is absolutely easy to overtake. Of course, McGuire probably saying, you know what, cowboy, come on, I'll get you later on. McGuire losing a spot back to ninth position, I believe it is now, to Stephen Marinac up there in front. '48 car Frank Coons on pit road. This is not a scheduled stop. 9 laps into the race. Not quite sure what happened to his car. I want to take a look back here. He gets, just before he makes that pit stop, he bangs into the wall, damage to the right side, almost gets out of shape here. I don't think he meant to come down pit road, to be honest with you. I think he just got pointed that way and trying to hang on and save the day. But Frank Coons on pit road, damage to the right side of his car. That'll be the 48 machine. In the meantime, Ben Burnett still hanging out up here in front with Bobby Terrell, C.J. Lavere, David Lanza. I'll tell you what, David Lanza, that's a car to watch here too. Lanza started 5th tonight, already up a couple of positions. Actually up one position, started 5th position, but 4th place. He'll stay in the top 5 here tonight, I have no doubt. Let's take a check on the 84 machine, Jimmy North. That's my partner in crime on our radio show, Rewind, BS, and Back Talk. And the 84 car of Jimmy North looks like he's doing pretty good back here in 12th position. Really hasn't moved any. He just, if I know Jimmy, he's just out here turning laps, because let me tell you something, cowboy, there's a pile of sheet metal back behind our office that belongs to that number 84 team. And if I know Jimmy, he's just going to ride around here in New Hampshire for a while and see if he can't collect a checker flag here at the end of this thing tonight. But Jimmy North holding his own here at New Hampshire. In behind him in 13th position, the 44 car battling with, I want to say that's the 1 car up here. It's going to be Clint Monahan, side by side, down the front stretch, putting on a show for the Cowboys up here. I'll tell you what, Clint Monahan looked like he went in a little bit deep there, but he's trying to get that position in the middle of the turn from the 44. 44 getting a little bit wiggle loose here on the 1 car, almost making contact. The 44 comes out the winner there down the back stretch. Oh, contact with the 1. There it is. Monahan gets out of shape into the wall. And here comes the 84, Jimmy North on the bottom here for the position. So Clint Monahan already in trouble here on lap 14 at New Hampshire. Had to reach over and grab a cold one here, but Monahan still duking it out here. The 84 Jimmy North trying to get by him. Clint wouldn't have nothing of it. The 84's got to back out the throttle big time. That brings the 66 of Brian Harvey, 13th position alongside, and he's going to get North 4th position. Behind North is the 85 car, Nathan Bowers, as he's going to come alongside the 84 car. And he'll probably get the position from North here too, but if not, he'll hang on to it. No, he's not going to get the position. Still in the 14th position. North taking a look on the inside of the 66. Jimmy North wants that position back, Cowboys. So here we go. And he's going to get it coming off of turn 4 here. The 66. Brian Hart's got to back up the throttle there a little bit to avoid a collision, but doing a good job. North now looking at the number 1 machine of Clint Monahan. So Jimmy North, what are you doing, cowboy? Let's take. And we are on board with Jimmy North's car here. And I'll tell you what, I should have rigged up a private microphone or a private channel or a radio or something down there, and put it on the dashboard of that 84 car down there so I could talk to Jimmy and see what the hell's going on in the cockpit of that machine. But Jimmy North holding his own here tonight, hoping to keep from piling up some more sheet metal behind the office here when he's done after the race tonight. Let's take a run back up front here. Ben Burnett still holding down the fort. Bobby Terrell, CJ Willard, nothing has changed. Nothing's changed up here. Still the top 5 holding down the fort. Matt Lacrosse back here in the 21 car. He's got Marinac up in front of him. Now, Marinac, remember Marinac started in 11th position, so Marinac's already moved up here a couple of notches, Cowboy. So Matt Lacrosse in that 21 machine, I don't know that he was expecting that. Matt Lacrosse started in 6th position here tonight, but they're getting all strung out up here in the front. From about Bo McGuire forward. Bo McGuire, that 50 machine, doing pretty good here tonight in New Hampshire. And Bo McGuire, his name is actually Bo Brunig, and I'll tell you something. He's a pretty good sprint car racer too. He's one of them Tony Stewart types. He loves these stock cars, but I'll tell you, when he gets an opportunity to jump in a sprint car or one of them winged midget cars, I'll tell you what, Cowboy, look out. But Bo McGuire puts on a pretty good show, and he hails from the Sim Pro Racing League over there, primarily a dirt racing league. And we've done some broadcasts for those boys in the past. But Bo McGuire holding down forward here in 9th position, top 10 for him right now in that 50 machine. Breathing down his neck is Glenn Campbell in the 44 car, though. And I'll tell you, these guys have been battling now for a couple of laps. I'll keep an eye on these two right here. I don't think Glenn Campbell's done with McGuire yet, as they've been racing side by side here for a couple of laps. McGuire's got the edge in the middle of the turn on the bottom, but McGuire seems to have the horsepower coming off. But if these two keep at it, it's going to be the 50 machine's going to have to give it up, because he's going to wind up burning up right side tires here, especially that right front tire up there. And it looks like McGuire maybe about to give it up here. Fights that contact with the 44, hangs on to it, narrowly misses the inside wall. The 44 machine, Glenn Campbell, hanging on for dear life. Grab that saddle horn, Cowboy, and hang on. But I'll tell you what, the 50 car, Bo McGuire, just not going to have any of that, Cowboy. So he puts the spurs to that pony of his, and off he goes. Catch that slow motion action on the replay there. I'll tell you what, good work down there from Laura Lawson, pushing the buttons on the cameras for us here tonight. Where the hell is John Westling too? He's usually hanging around here sometimes as well. He may be popping in later on. He finds out I'm working alone tonight, I'm sure he'll be in here. Here in the 84 is in the wall here. Let's get a quick check on that. 84 car, that's going to be Jimmy North, my partner in crime, but everything looks like he's pretty hunky-dory in the wall again here. He's got a 2x2 out in front of him there. That's going to be Jason Lester and Mark Bratcher going at it, the 38 and the 90, and I think that's a 92, back here in about 14th position. But the 84 car, Jimmy North, still has all 4 tires on the ground and still pointed in the right direction. So that's probably a good thing for him tonight here in 15th position. But I'm sure I'll get the chance to razz him next Tuesday night on the Rewind BS and Backtalk radio show. We'll talk about this. Oh, he's in the wall again, and around he goes. The sheet metal is going to be piling up. Caution will come out at New Hampshire for the first time for this one, and Jimmy North takes a beating. Going to roll it back here, take another look. Jimmy comes off of turn 4, right into the wall, Cowboy. I tell you what, you got to pull a little bit more to the left on the reins of that pony, but he gets the wall, and then right behind him, with nowhere to go, is Adam Roberts, and it's kind of follow the leader. He follows Jimmy right into the wall. A little bit of contact with the 88 car, but Jimmy, trying to stay out of trouble, takes another nosedive, after a little bit of contact with the 88, and then like a ping pong ball, it just kind of bounces off the wall, and well, you watched it all on the replay. You know what happened. 85 car involved. An 85 car gets door slammed by, I think it might have been the 48 car. But Coon's involved in that, to the 48, the 84, of course, the 85. It might have been the 42 car of Jimmy Jones that might have door slammed the 84. Taking another look. No, actually, it's J. Randall Watkins in a 77 car. Just door slams the 85 car, and a lot of damage to the front end of that 77. In fact, he might have just blown the motor there. But first caution of the night here at New Hampshire, and the sheet metal is starting to pile up. And I'm hearing that Wyatt won the battle off pit road there. While I'm taking some notes. See, now I got to take my own damn notes. And it looks like I might be having some help coming in here. Let's take a real quick commercial here, Laura, and I think I might have somebody knocking on the door here to the booth.
Have my hands on my, And Slam Band, thank you, man. I'll tell you what, pace car getting ready to pull off here. Just working first caution of the night here to the 84 car. Jimmy North started that mess, and about 3 or 4 cars that wound up with that, but I think Jimmy North might be piling up some more sheet metal behind the office. Starting off here again, collecting another green flag is going to be Ben Burnett up here in front. This time it's David Lanza, Eric Arnold, Bobby Terrell still hanging out up in front there. But I'll tell you what, 2x2 with the 47 here. Eric Arnold, he's, almost losing it up here in the turn. Coming off of turn 2 down the backstretcher, Arnold side by side with the, I think that was the 33 of Lanza. Almost losing it here, but I'll tell you, we're going to see a lot of that. Almost 3 wide going into turn 1. Ain't going to happen, Cowboy, but I'll tell you what, 21 of Matt Lacrosse, he's looking on the outside. The 4 comes along on the inside, so I'll tell you what, 2x2 here up in front. And I think I heard the back door open over here in the booth, and in walked Dakota Irvin. as I did.
And we're here at New Hampshire Speedway here tonight in Loudon, New Hampshire with these boys, and this is the kind of stuff I like. This is, if it was a Saturday night, this would be Saturday night short track night here on ETV Live, but tonight is Thursday night, and we're here with the Asphalt Assault group from Real Sim Racing. And of course, the Cowboy working the booth here tonight. I don't know what the hell happened to everybody else, but we're here.
There was a lot of stuff going on, but I don't know. Glad everybody's finally back up here.
Yeah, I got somebody said that usually it's Tim Terry and Dakota Erman up here in the booth, but Tim apparently sent some messages out to some people, except the boss. You know how that goes. I mean, everybody hears about it except the guy that makes the schedule. So, but Tim Terry's good to go. He's got some things that he's got to deal with and everything. And Dakota, of course, he's got a little bit of credit built up here at ETV Live anyway, but walking in late. Not his usual MO, but of course Dakota just getting his first job there at Walmart, and so we're having to deal with that, but that's a good thing there. But in the meantime, out here on the track, I tell you what, Ben Burnett, he's pretty much held down the fort here from the start of this thing tonight, Dakota. But David Lanza, that 33 machine, I tell you, he's one to keep an eye on here tonight, as we put 35 laps in the books at New Hampshire Speedway tonight. Now, Lanza, I was looking at the points here. David Lanza is 14th in the points. Kind of an unusual position for him to be in. He's usually a pretty good go-getter at any track, but David Lanza in that 33 machine holding down second place here behind Ben Burnett. I tell you what, Ben Burnett's fed that pony some oats. He's got that thing in high gear. Eric Arnold's been chasing them all down up here in front of that 47 machine, side by side with Bobby Terrell with the 47 up here.
Well, when you talk about David Lanza being down the points, I think he's missed a few races. I want to say that's why he's down there. I know he had a few subs, but you can only have so many in a season before they don't count your points. As you see Ben Burnett get a little sideways. And if you think about Martinsville in the Cup Series, the Full Throttle Cup Series that runs on Mondays, I think when we were there at the very beginning of the season, Ben Burnett was probably the car to beat. I think he was actually wrecked out of the event. It came up short. It was like third after being wrecked. He was coming back to the field. But Burnett, this is a track similar to Martinsville. You can see he likes it, although he's sliding around quite a bit, maybe using up his stuff. To watch out for David Lanza, like I said, always quick.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what, that Ben Burnett 81 machine is going to be a tough car to beat here tonight. But C.J. LeVere, who sits second in the points behind Marinac, C.J. LeVere's no slouch either. That number 4 machine hanging around up in the front, top 5 up here as well. And Marinac, let's get a check on him, your points leader. He's currently running in 12th position here tonight. And Marinac probably didn't get the qualifying position that he was looking for. He started in 11th position, so he's been kind of hanging around just a little bit forward in the middle of the pack here all night long. So we'll keep an eye on the 24 car tonight and see how he fares out. Now remember, C.J. LeVere is only 55 points back in Marinac, so there's a potential for some pretty solid movement here tonight. Two other drivers we want to keep an eye on is Matt Lacrosse and Bobby Terrell. They're only one point apart here, and that's your third and fourth position cars. So we'll keep an eye on Terrell and Lacrosse.
We talked about Marinac. Again, I think he was 8th in practice, and he's just now taking over the 11th position. Maybe here comes the 43, Doug Roth. Maybe back to the inside, not quite going to stay back behind him in line. But Marinac, I think we see this a lot where he starts in the back and then tries to work his way through the field.
Yeah, I mean, this is New Hampshire. I mean, if it was Daytona or Talladega, California, one of the bigger tracks, Michigan or something, that might be something to look at. But, I'm back when I used to race, of course, that was, back in the days when we actually had to feed the horses. But, I mean, you want to start up front on a short track, because if you started up there, you had a pretty good chance of staying up there. It's hard to pass at these short tracks sometimes. And so I tell you what, taking a look at Matt Lacrosse, we're talking about Lacrosse and Terrell. Lacrosse is 4 positions behind Terrell. Terrell's up there in second. Lacrosse back here in 6th position, that 21 car. So still a lot of laps to go, 42 in the books. It's a 120 lap race here tonight in New Hampshire. So still quite a few laps to go here.
Now you see a big train here, though. I think it's the 81 of Burnett might be holding these guys up. You saw David Lanza caught him, can't get around them. The 7 of Terrell has kind of run these guys down, and he can't get anywhere, as well as the 4 of CJ LeVere. He's right behind these guys. Just a train of 4 cars here that really can't go anywhere. So long as Ben Burnett hits his marks, I think he's all right, even if he is a little off the pace compared to these other guys. You see these other guys going way up the racetrack in the 33, got big time sideways there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the 33 car getting way out of shape there, but grabbing hold of that saddle horn, hanging on for dear life. But David Lanza trying to run down that Ben Burnett, and I think you're absolutely right, Dakota. You know, Burnett is hitting his marks every lap. I mean, that's how he's able to stay out in front. And you know, these guys looking for a way around him. You know, we've seen a couple of passes attempted on the bottom of the track, and it takes some work. I mean, it's not the easiest thing to do at New Hampshire. I mean, you'd think you could just sail down there, get on the bottom, and you know, get a good exit coming off. But that's not the case here at New Hampshire. There's just enough banking up there to help hold the guy in the top lane in position there and get a good run off. And we've seen that lap after lap here in a 2x2 situation. But as long as Ben Burnett's hitting his mark, yeah, he's going to make it real tough for anybody behind him to get position on it.
I'm really intrigued as to how these guys are getting to the corners. I mean, you watch the 81 to 33. I jumping a little off subject here. The racetrack here, I was watching some of these guys go around, and I mean, I think it's turns 1 and 2. You watch these guys go into the corner, and they almost look half sideways. 3 is not quite as bad. 4, I wouldn't say it's too bad, but that's what makes it so hard to pass here. Is they've got to be, you know, wicked sideways in the middle of the corner, or go way up the racetrack. It's all about hitting your marks here at New Hampshire. I mean, that's really all it is. You can't really do a whole lot more. Burnett really good at Martinsville again, like I said, and I think that's carrying over to this racetrack here, being a flat track, the same as Martinsville.
Yeah, and you know, you're absolutely right. I mean, you know, this is a difficult place to, you know, plus they're coming from Daytona. I mean, they're coming from a 2.5 mile track at, you know, over 200 miles an hour, and then they've got a few days of practice here at a flat track with virtually no banking. So, I mean, this is a whole different ball game. But it's like learning how to fly, you know, spending a week flying a jet and then jumping into a biplane and saying, here you go, cowboy, have at it. But, and you're absolutely right. I think these guys are not quite used to these turns here yet. A few of them are catching on. We saw, you know, in the beginning, driving them in deep and having to get on the binders and blow them up. And, of course, that brings the weight up off the back end of the car. You get the little wiggle on the ass end, and around she goes. But they've been able to hang on to them all up until about lap 26. That first caution came out, the 84, come off of turn 4. Or turn 4. And then, of course, right there in front of the audience, kind of ping-ponged off the wall, and around he went.
Almost had a battle for the lead up front, the 81. Carrying, he was on the outside lane, 33, kind of dove down. He kind of stopped at the bumper of the 81 and slipped back up the racetrack and pushed him down into turn number 3. But I mean, it was almost a battle for the race, for the lead there. The 33 almost got underneath the 81 of Burnett.
I tell you what, Jason Lester back here in about 14th position, he just came like a bullet out of a 6 gun past the 66 machine, headed up into the track. This was off of the turn, headed up towards the wall, and I thought he was going to do a nosedive, but managed to hang on to it. The 66 Brian Harvey giving up another position on the outside to the 64 Red Williams Jr., but the 66 trying to fight back down there on the bottom. Again, this is what we were talking about. You get stuck down there and try to get around these guys, and it's not the easiest thing to do. I think they have a better run off the top, and just enough banking up there to hold them up there. But the 65 car still holding his own on the top line, almost taking it 3 wide with the 92. That's going to be Jason Lester up here, and he's picking them up and laying them down here at New Hampshire as well.
And the 65 is going to shoot down to the inside there, you know, inside the 92 machine. They're going to be able to stick it coming off the corner, but the 92 looks like he has the momentum. 65 going to go back really quickly here. And that's going to put the 65 back in line behind the 92. Once again, back up front, we saw again going into turn number 3 last time, or a time ago, I can't remember, but Ben Burnett leading, and David Lanza threw it underneath, could not make the turn, had to back up the corner, lost a little bit of time. So that's another thing, is the 33 keeps getting the bump for the 81. He's got nowhere to go besides to the inside and out of the way, and that really is slowing him up and costing him a lot of time when racing for the lead.
And about 3 laps ago, Marvin Turnmeyer Jr. back here in 19th position, he just let a herd of cars go past him. That includes Clint Monahan. Not Clint Monahan, Josh Chaney, and a whole bunch of them up here to 65. Ed Williams Jr. the 66 car. So I tell you what, a little bit of a battle going on back here deep in the field. But in the meantime, Burnett's still holding down the fort. Nothing has changed. Cowboy up in front. It is still Burnett, Lanza, Terrell, and LeVere. Eric Arnold hanging around. Looks like he's lost a couple of positions, but still hanging on to a top 5 here at New Hampshire. 53 laps in the books. Why don't we do a couple of plugs here? If I look down the list and find one, let's talk about Derek Spear Designs. They, in part, sponsor tonight's race, the Asphalt Assault Series here with Real Sim Racing. And I'll tell you what, they manufacture top-shelf simulation racing components such as pedals, shifters, button boxes, and a whole lot more, reasonably priced. This is the kind of gear that a champion sim racing driver needs. Well, I need to rewrite that. Bulletproof and boot-stomping strong, Cowboy. You can see his gear at DerekSpearDesigns.com.
See, JD, I think it sounds so much better when you say that as caution flies at New Hampshire.
Sounds like the 88 in the wall. That's going to be Adam Roberts rolling around here. I believe the caution is going to come out again for the second time here as I pick it up. And it looks like the 19 might have got into the 88, sends him around here off of turn 2 into the outside wall, does the ETV Live pirouette, and then he gets slammed into by, let me see if I can slow it down enough to find out who that is. I believe that's the 66 car, comes off the turn right into the 88.
Yeah, 66 nails him, and then right behind him, the 42, nowhere to go. Jimmy Jones is going to get collected this big time as well. He's going to have smoke pour from his machine as he drives away.
Second caution of the night here at New Hampshire Speedway. Formerly, I think they used to call this place Loudon Speedway or something, but I believe it's now known as New Hampshire Motor Speedway. First caution.
The Magic Mile.
Yeah, Magic Mile. First caution way back on lap 26, so that was a pretty decent run. And Jimmy North, the 84 car, still sitting down on pit road, but I don't see the pit crew anywhere. They probably headed to the bar, if I know those guys.
Would not surprise me, as everybody should have been on and off of pit road. It's going to be on who won the battle on or off of pit road, really, is who's going to be the guy with the best track position right now. You see a few cars stayed out up front, but none of them looking to be lead lap cars or leaders. Ben Burnett comes down. LeVere's going to come off second. He's going to pick up 2 spots. Eric Arnold's going to pick up a few spots as well. Lanza falls back 2. You see Terrell falls back, I do believe, 2 as well.
And we're here in the 57 car, fuel only here in New Hampshire. I don't know, that's going to be Barry Hines. He's coming back down pit road again here. I don't know that that was a wise call by the crew chief. We're looking at, almost 30 laps, not quite 30 laps from the last caution when they would have had an opportunity to come down. So that's quite a bit of rubber wore off the tires. And he is, in fact, getting tires this time. So bad call by the crew chief first time around, and this might have been a driver call this time. He opts to come in. So the 57, 4 tires, and top it off and back out he goes.
Yeah, I want to say that the 60, or no, wait, that's a 57. It almost looks like a 67 from the angle I was looking at it, but 67, Brian Harvey. How is he's actually in the 66 here tonight? I think he drives the 67 on Monday nights. I don't know what I'm talking about, but
what, and you think I do? I'm going to see if I can get Jimmy North on the radio. Hey, Jimmy North, this is JD and Dakota Herman up here in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
I certainly do, gentlemen. How are you guys doing tonight?
Dude, you know what? More fodder for the Tuesday night Rewind BS and Backtalk show. The sheet metal is starting to really pile up back here, dude.
Oh, yeah, we just walked out of the infield care center. We're all good. Got checked out. We took a hard hit on the inside wall there. Car's not too good a shape right now. Back in the garage area, they're trying to get it fixed up. Looks like we had a bent trailing arm on the rear end and a bent axle. So they're trying to work on it, assess the damage, find out if maybe we can get back out there. But we're so many laps down. But yeah, something we'll have to talk about on the radio show coming up on Tuesday. Yeah, I don't know what it is, JD. And it's just weird, you know.
Hey, you know what? Maybe what we can do is we can take all them cars back there and cut them all up and sell them as souvenirs as we get more and more popular on a radio show. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. I'll start signing like a portion of the roll bar or, you know, portion of the hood. You know, maybe we'll raffle them off. You know, make some
Parts
more
that's
money.
not destroyed?
All right, well, we're back to green here, and I'll tell you what, Eric Arnold, that 47 machine, he is putting up one hell of a fight from the get-go here with Ben Burnett, trying to get at least a bonus point here. But CJ LeVere and the 4 machine also up here in the mix, and these guys are trying to get everything they can get from that 81 before it gets too late. The 47 just not enough horsepower to get around the 81 machine, Dakota. But I'll tell you what, these boys are not quitting up here. 60 laps in the books, coming off the second caution here at New Hampshire. And I'll tell you what, they are assaulting the asphalt here tonight.
Yeah, 47 had a preferred line coming off a 2 with the 4 underneath. And he's going to have it again going into 3. The 4 was able to hang on very strong on the inside last time, but I don't know that you can do that again. That's a very hard thing to do here, especially at this racetrack. You see he's able to hang on to it, but he's going to lose a lot of time, lose the position, and he's going to have the 33 coming on strong behind him if he does not get back up to the outside lane.
And 2x2 back here with Glenn Campbell, and I believe that was Matt Cross back here about 7th and 8th position. 21 Lacrosse on the bottom. 44 machine up on the top side here. Now here we go, coming down into turn number 3 as the 44 car backs out of the throttle, and the 21 car tries to ease back up on it. Looks like Matt Lacrosse may have the position on the 44. Lacrosse made that one look pretty easy here. But remember, it's pretty difficult to get around these guys here at New Hampshire, especially down there on the bottom, because you really got to get off the throttle and pay attention down there on the bottom. The guys on top seems like you're getting a better run off of the turn, while the guys are getting a pretty good run into the turn. But both of them got to get on the binders here. The guys up on the top, I tell you what, they can just get back on the throttle just a little bit sooner, and I think that's what we're watching here tonight. But right now, as they get sorted out here, single file, looking all the way back here, pretty much single file all the way back. Now there's a herd of cars up here from about 13th position up. This middle pack has been running like a herd of cars since the green flag.
How about the 24 car? I want to jump right in here. The 24 car, Stefan Marinak, we was talking about the points leader. I was going to update you through the race. Outside the top 10, he was in 11th, 12th position earlier with struggling to make up the spots. A little bit of track position he's gained somehow. He's up in the top 5 now. He's in front of the 7. You talked about the 21, the 7 going at it. The 21 has gotten around Glenn Campbell. Campbell sticking to his bumper, but the 21 is trying to run down that 7 car, Terrell. Again, those two being right together in the points, but Marinak climbing to the field.
Yeah, you bet. And, we were talking about him earlier. He's 55 points out in front of CJ LeVere. LeVere trying to pull down the Ford up here in the top 5. That 4 machine. He's been doing a pretty decent job all night long. But I'll tell you what, from the top to the bottom here, at least the top 10, Ben Burnett, he's been up here in front all night long with Eric Arnold, CJ LeVere in 3rd. David Lanza in 4th position. Stefan Marinak trying to hold down his position as leader of the pack here in the Asphalt Assault Series. 6 belongs to Bobby Terrell. Bobby Terrell putting on a pretty good show. Remember, he finished just inside the top 10 at Daytona last week. Sits 4th in the points, 83 behind the leader. But Bobby Terrell's a big mover here in this with this group too. 7th belongs to the 21 of Matt Lacrosse. Lacrosse putting on a pretty decent show here tonight. Glenn Campbell, I tell you what, Cowboy, this dude started 13th here, and he's just slowly kind of working his way forward. You want to keep an eye on that 44 car. He ain't done here yet. 9th belongs to Mark Bratcher. Mark Bratcher's got a bone to pick as I think we're working another caution here.
Yes, we are. I think it was the 11 of Josh Cheney, 21st position, lap 62 off turn number 2. Just looks like he gets sideways in the middle of 1 and 2. It just can't hang on to it. Coming off to big time sideways. Going to nearly spin. He's going to halfway spin it. He's going to be sideways on the racetrack. Stop. Get rolling down. Off and down to the very bottom. Lets the car go. Finally gets the car straight. And he's going to roll away. But that's going to put us under caution here again, JD.
And I'll tell you what, that is absolutely worth a replay. You know what? He handled that car with precision, dude. I mean, he had that thing completely perpendicular with the wall coming off the turn, slid for probably 50 yards, and managed to hang on to it without a scratch. I'll tell you what, that's some driving right there by Josh Cheney.
And I do believe everybody coming down pit road now, JD. It's going to be Burnett leading them down last time. The 4 made up a spot or 2. Let's see if we can do it again here. He's going to come into his stall. Very quick. He's going to be stopped well before the leader. The right side's going to go up on that machine. Kind of slow to get up. The right side's up on Ben Burnett's machine. Maybe a little bit quicker. Rights are down on the 4. Going to be 4 tires stopped. Nearly everybody here. You see the 4 is up. 2 tires for the 7 car. I think I saw Marinak as well, or Bratcher.
Yeah, and I think Lavere won the battle off of pit road there. What happened to Burnett up here? I'm taking a second look at it. It's like, yeah, that's the number 7 machine beating. That's going to be Bobby Terrell beating the 81 machine. I'll tell you what, Cowboy. Ben Burnett's pit crew falling asleep down there, but what a race here tonight. 68 laps in the books. Let's cut away, go to a quick commercial here. You're watching live, ETV Live. We'll be right back. Plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
All right, sorry about that iRace. I'll tell you what, I wanted to bring it back here live. Bobby Terrell out in front for the first time tonight with Mark Bratcher, Bobby Wetzel, Bo McGuire in 4th position, guys. Ben Burnett and number 81 machine had to start in 5th position here. We'll tell you why here in just a minute as we get things sorted out. Mark Bratcher in the 38 machine almost had it, but gives it up here. Mark Bratcher trying to run down Bobby Terrell up there. But things shake out to 50. Bo McGuire up on the outside. He's got the 81 machine of Ben Burnett looking to get that position back. Why did Ben Burnett start 5th? Dakota, he took 4 tires. Your top 4 took only 2. 10 laps since that last caution on lap 54. Good call by those crew chiefs. Track position means everything at a short track.
Tell that to Ben Burnett restarts 5th up to 3rd in just a lap here, JD, as he works down into turn number 3. He's following now Mark Bratcher. Bratcher's been running towards the back. I mean, I think he was just inside the top 10 earlier, so I don't know how strong he's going to be up front. Looks like he's running an alright line, though, because he's really keeping up with the 81 right now, even being on 2 tires. You look back just a little bit further behind these guys. 33 and 50 going at it. McGuire on the outside. You have Lanza on the inside. LeVere following Lanza. Hoping that Lanza can get by. Lanza sliding just a little bit. Nearly collects the 50 car. Going to keep going down the back straightaway into turn number 3.
You know, and I'm watching these guys here tonight, Dakota. The guys up on the outside looks like they have a better shot at making the pass than the guys on the bottom. But the 50 is going to give a couple of positions up there. The 4 comes right on through with the Lanza. Oh, roadblock in front. 81 machine. Ben Burnett gets out of shape off the turn and has to get off the throttle. That's going to let the 4 car get right on by, but I'll tell you what, don't count that 81 car out yet. He's been the leader of the pack all night long here since the first green flag. This is our 4th green flag, or our 4th green flag for the night. But working 3 cautions here tonight, 74 laps in the books here at New Hampshire. We're a little bit past the halfway point, but I tell you what, this has been quite a night here at the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series. And I'll tell you what, these Thursday night races, I really get a kick of watching these nationwide races here with this group, as they put on quite a show here. But single file all the way back now, I tell you, it's only about 4 or 5 laps in until they get it all sorted out, and then it's pretty much single file for quite some time, or at least the next caution. But right now, up in front, Bobby Terrell's got it. He intends to keep it. Mark Bratcher, he's about 1.3 seconds behind Terrell. So either Mark Bratcher has backed off and setting up a pace as he gets slammed in the ass by the 33 machine, or Bobby Terrell is on a rail.
I'll tell you what, Lanza's coming. Lanza is extremely, extremely quick. You saw the 4 actually got underneath Lanza, but that's because Lanza had to check up for the 38. And Lanza able to still hold on, prevail over the 4. He cannot get underneath the 38. That's not where you want to be. He knows he needs to use the outside if he can. He's going to follow the 38. Has to shoot down the inside. It's going to be side by side, heading into one. Has to back out early so he doesn't run over the 38. Back up the racetrack. 81 getting brake checked, and he's going to lose maybe a little bit of time here to these guys, and nearly gets run over by the 47 of Arnold. You see these guys just following in line. Again, the 38 up front, there's just nothing these guys can do, nowhere they can go that they can get around the 38. The 38 in a good position. 7 car loving this because he's able to run away. I did mention earlier the 38 is barely in the top 10. If he was earlier, I didn't know how strong he'd be up here. I think you're seeing as a result, he's not quite as quick as some of the other guys that have been running up front with the leaders the whole race.
Yeah, Lanza taking another look at the 38, just can't get the job done. This is what I was talking about earlier on, on being in that bottom lane down there. You know, he gets a good run going into the turn, but the 38 doesn't have to put the get on the binders as much as the 33 car does. As he tries to take a look on the inside again. So we've got another wreck happening back here. The 4 car of CJ LeVere around. This is going to be caution number 4 out tonight. Looks like contact between the 81. Oh, Ben Burnett takes the 4 car out of the race tonight.
Yeah, the 81 just heading into 3, just shoves way, way, way up. He's going to collect the 4, turns the 4 around. 47 gets back in the 81, but just I believe 2 minor taps. That's all it's going to be. He'll be all right, but the 4 car, big trouble, gets turned around on the right next to the outside wall, and he's able to drive away, but the toe looks like it might be knocked out quite a bit here.
Yeah, I'm trying to roll back here and look at it again. It looked like it might have been all the 81 car just taking up too much territory here. I mean, he knows the 4 cars up on the 4 cars up on the outside. You know, Spotter's probably screaming in his ear, "Car outside, car outside." And I got a feeling that they'll probably penalize Burnett for that.
But right now, I will find that out in just a moment. Right now, Ben Burnett has claimed that, so he will be penalized for it. Everybody down on pit road, though. Terrell going to get at least right sides here. Right side's down. It's going to be a 4-tire stop for Bobby Terrell. 81 is going to do 4 tires. Mark Bratcher does too, as well as Lanza. Bratcher's going to beat out Lanza. Arnold comes out 3rd. How about Rhett McBride and Clint Monahan?
You bet. And the 16 car of Marvin Turnmeyer is the lucky dog here tonight. He's going to get one of those 4 laps back that he's missing. back here in 21st position. But I'll tell you what, tough night for that 81 machine. That's going to send him all the way back to the back of the line here on the restart, if I check my rule book here. And he was. Ben Burnett given a end of the longest line penalty. So Burnett is going to have to give up a ton of positions here, Dakota. And I'll tell you something, we're at New Hampshire Speedway, 1 mile track. And we've watched all night long how difficult it is to get around these guys. If you can't do it on the first 3 or 4 laps, there's a good chance you ain't going to be able to do it at all. So Ben Burnett going all the way to the back of the pack. And being told we better get a plug-in. Well, okay, let's get a plug-in. Pick one. How about the Rewind BS and Back Talk radio show? I don't think we even have a graphic for that yet, but we'll plug it anyway. Coming soon to coming soon, and we're already on ETV Live Radio. Looks like the executive producer needs to do a little bit of updating to the online plugs.
Yeah,
but,
JD.
Yeah, JD. Well, I got an associate producer, but apparently he's got a new job. But Dakota Irvin, Jimmy North, and I, the Cowboy, I tell you what, for an hour of rewind, looking back at previous events here on ETV Live, including interviews with drivers, crew chiefs, and a whole lot of other different people. The Cowboy ramps it up with thoughts and opinions of hot topics in the online racing arena, as well as the real racing arena. You should have heard the stuff we were talking about last week, or just this last Tuesday. But it's an all-new show, fun, entertaining, rewind, BS and Back Talk on ETV Live Radio. And this week, during the BS part, we were talking about Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, how sick and tired we're getting about hearing of Jimmy Johnson. But really, is it his fault that we hear about him so much? I mean, 5-time champ. A lot of other drivers have been, multi-time champions like Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt. Why is he be so different than anybody else? But next week it's going to be Kyle Busch. We're going to rant on Kyle Busch.
Let's see, my name's in the plug. I'm supposed to be in the show. I've showed up for one of the 2 shows, I think, and I was there for maybe 15 minutes at the end of the show, and I was quiet for most of that. Definitely an interesting show, though. Tune in. I would not miss that.
You bet. Mark Batcher picking up the green flag for the first time tonight. He's got the 33 machine of David Lanza with him, with Eric Arnold, Rhett McBride, and Clint Monahan up here. Clint Monahan, Bratcher's been looking for Monahan all night here. He's got a bone to pick with him about the radio show that was supposed to have gone off on Wednesday night, but did not happen. But Bratcher hangs on to the lead up here, gets a good start. The 47 machine, Eric Arnold, he's been duking it out up here all night long, Cowboy, in the top 5 at least. But the 33 machine, David Lanza, we've been keeping an eye on him as well. Now remember, if we're talking about having to get these positions, got to get them quick. But single file this time around. The 21 machine back here, 7th position with the 7 up on the outside. Oh, and the 15 car going around. Caution's going to come out again here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, we got the wall a little bit. It just looks like going into, I do want to say this is turn number 3. This is actually going to be 1. The 57 just comes in. Actually, the 57 checked up. Got hit by the 7. He, I don't know exactly what he was doing, but looks like he got back to the throttle, runs back over the 15, turns the 15 around and into the wall.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, if I had to make the call, I'd probably put it on the 57 and say, hey, dude, you need to be paying attention a little bit more. But, when you're bumper to bumper like this, you got to expect the guys in front of you. They're going to get off the throttle and get on the binders. You got to be looking for that. So, I don't know. The 57's fault, who knows? But I'll tell you what, working caution number 5 here at New Hampshire was 84 laps in the books.
And I can see them arguing. I don't know exactly what's being said, but I can tell that they're going back and forth with race officials trying to figure out who is at fault, and I don't think we will know until a penalty is issued here.
Oh, and Mark Bratcher in the 38 machine, Dakota, is the only one who goes down pit road. Going to roll this back here. He didn't even fake it, but I don't think I think he expected everybody else to follow him down. I don't know whether this is a good call or not, because it hasn't been that many laps. I mean, last caution was back on lap 78, so we just got a handful of laps since that last caution. So unusual call for the 38 car. That's going to turn the lead over to Eric Arnold. Arnold's finally going to pick up his bonus points for the night. He's been looking for those here for about 80 some odd laps now. David Lanza, Clint Monahan, Matt Lacrosse, and Marinac in that 24 car. Marinac finally making his way up into the top 5. Let's get a check on our what was our leader, Ben Burnett, who started the race on the pole, pretty much led all the laps here tonight. The 81 car, he's mired back here in 15th position, so he still has a very long way to go, even with as much laps as we got left in this race, Dakota, to try to make it all the way back up here to the front.
The thing I like here, though, with Bratcher, just having had come down pit road out to get it out eventually, he's not. I mean, if we get a quick caution, you might see some of these other guys come down, and I think you'll see him stay out. He'll get the lead back, or be put back up front, and the only difference is he's going to be a little older tires, depending on what everybody takes. But if the race plays out like it has the last few laps, the last few runs, it's just a few laps into caution, I think he'll be all right to stay out maybe, and I think we'll see him stay out if we get a caution. That might work in his favor. But I'm not exactly sure. It's going to be an interesting strategy, to say the least.
Yeah, and that last caution back on lap 78 when we had the big lead change. The top 4 cars only took 2 tires. Burnett took 4. That's why he was late getting off pit road. That's what sent him back to restart in 5th position. So you're going to have a handful of cars up here who have older tires on the left side, which may or may not make a difference. I think it'll probably make a little bit of a difference here after a while. That's certainly going to give Burnett a little bit of an opportunity to catch up here as the night goes on. But unusual call for that 38 machine, and he's going to lose a bunch of positions when it finally gets all cycled out here. In fact, he may be starting in the back of the pack here, and he is. Bratcher's going to start back here behind Burnett. So I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out here at New Hampshire here tonight. We're with the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series. Of course, being sponsored by Inside Sim Racing TV and Derek Spear Designs. And give a little plug to where is that plug in? Geez, I got to look down the darn list as we go green. Go ahead and make the call, bud.
At Green Flag Racing once again in New Hampshire. Arnold gets out to a pretty decent lead. You see the 1 of Monahan, the 33 of Lanza going side by side for the second position. Lanza fell back last restart. You see him being challenged once again. Looks like he's going to hang on, take over the spot over the 1, falls back in line right behind the 47. 21 of Matt Lacrosse gets to the bumper of the 1. Olds makes contact. He's going to lay off of him. 21 and 1 though, getting extremely close. I see another battle back here, the 7 and 24. That's the 24 of Stefan Marinac, who is the points leader, and the 7 of Ivy Terrell, I do believe up in the top 5 in points. Generally really, really strong. And how about the 43 of Doug Roth hanging around just behind the 24, looking to get underneath if he possibly can. 21 and 1, going to go side by side for position, and it looks like the 1 has the preferred line on the outside lane. But the 21 not giving up as he heads into turn number 3. He's going to still have it down low. Shoves way up the racetrack. Going to get behind the 1 and try to fall back in line coming off of turn number 4 here.
I've been watching Doug Roth here tonight, 43 machine, and I'll tell you what, I love that car. I always have. I'm a big Richard Petty fan, and I've always loved his paint jobs. But the 43 Doug Roth hanging out in the top 10, doing a fine job here tonight. He's got the 44 breathing down his neck. 44 Glenn Campbell, no slouch here at New Hampshire, Cowboy. He's been showing his stuff. As we've got a battle happening up here with Bobby Terrell up here in 5th position, and even in front of him, the 21 and the 1 car battling it out. So I'll tell you what, this has been quite a show here at New Hampshire, as the fans have pretty much been on their feet all night long here, side by side down the front stretch here, 2 by 2, even back to the 4 car, CJ LeVere back here in 9th position on the bottom, the 50, Bo McGuire. McGuire's been putting up a pretty consistent fight all night long, managing to stay inside the top 10 since the get-go. So, but behind him is the 81 of Ben Burnett, and Ben Burnett is on the move.
It was 7 was following the 21, but underneath the 1 going into turn number 3. 21 pushes way up the racetrack. 7 does the same, has to check up. 24 shoots underneath him, so the 7 gets stuck on the outside. 24 now looking underneath him, and the 21 is still looking to get by the 1 as he gets sideways. Going to be 3 wide for a moment, goes back to 2 wide. 21 falls back to the outside lane and is falling back in line behind the 1 of Clint Monahan. The 21, Matt Lacrosse, kind of struggling here. He's, I mean, really good. I mean, he was really using a lot of the racetrack that you don't see anybody else using, but was not able to get to position. As you see, he's just falling back. Now the 24 looking underneath him as points leader Stephen Marinac, as he and Bobby Terrell now going to go side by side with Lacrosse clears the 24 here.
I believe the Cowboy calls out just a herd of cars up here in front of C.J. LeVere from a 9th position forward. They are 2 by 2 after battling for position here. But let's go a little bit deeper in the field. Some of these guys we haven't talked about tonight. How about the 19 machine of Bobby Wetzel? Putting on a pretty good show here. He's just outside the top 10, sitting in 12th position, hanging on to his own, doing a pretty decent job. How about Jason Lesser in that 92 machine? He's got tangled up in a couple of cautions here, but I'll tell you what, a little bit of damage repaired on that machine, holding his own. And behind him, the 62 car of John Wilco, having a pretty decent night here at New Hampshire Speedway. But what about our sponsor? I finally found it, Inside Sim Racing TV, sponsoring the Thursday night Real Sim Racing Series. I'll tell you what, Inside Sim Racing TV, your first and best choice for all the news and reviews on online motorsports. Join Darren Ganji and Sean Cole for the latest and greatest in product reviews, simulation autosports, racing games for PCs and the Xbox crowd. From steering wheels to full-size racing rigs, updates on popular racing games, and a whole lot more. The yellow pages of online racing, Cowboy. Inside Sim Racing TV has it all. Visit them at isrtv.com.
Looking on the racetrack currently, still have a battle going on. 21 was looking underneath the 1-7 car, looking to make this a 3-way battle, and he's going to fall back out of it. Had to check up big time, but I mean, he has not let the 21 have his time. You know, he's not allowing the 21 to take his time. Looking at the first and second positions, David Lanza has knocked off about 2/10 from where he was running earlier, but now staying kind of steady, just about 2/10 behind leader Eric Arnold. We'll just have to see if he can knock down any time as they continue to make laps around the racetrack. They have a 1.5 second advantage on the field here, though, in first and second positions.
All right, and I'm going to start all the way back here with the lap down cars. Let's start out with 15 of, this is back here in 20th position, Rhett McBride. Now, he is the first car 1 lap down, so if the caution comes out again, he'll get the ride around and pick up the dog. Marvin Turnmeyer Jr., who was the dog the last time, made up a couple of laps here already. Remember, he was 4 laps down when he got the lucky dog. That made it 3, so he's got 1 back. 2 laps down the 16 car. Jimmy Jones back here in the 42 machine. And then Nathan Bowers, he's back here in 23rd. Remember, he was involved in a couple of cautions too. Got a little bit of a dog leg to the 85 here, but holding his own. Joey Hilton back here in the 40 machine. He's in 24th position. Jay Randall Watkins, that 77 car, he was also involved in a caution. I don't remember what lap it was on, but back here in 25th, Adam Roberts coming down pit road in that 88 car. Remember, he was involved in that caution way back on lap 54. Josh Cheney in the garage with Brian Harvey. Jimmy North, of course, that 84 machine sitting right out in the back of the office here, piled up on blocks. I see Jimmy North down there already taking a torch to cutting that sheet metal up. But in the meantime, Eric Arnold, your leader up here in the front with David Lanza chasing him down by about a 1/10 of a second behind him. And then way back, about 1.6 behind, is going to be Clint Monahan and Matt Lacrosse.
But don't get me wrong, David Lanza has gained 9/100ths of a second the last few laps. He's run down the leader, and as I said that, he loses over a 1/10 here, so he's going to lose a little bit of time. They go back and forth with who's faster. Sometimes they're close to even. Look back here at the battle for third is really where the real battle is at. You see the 21's going to shoot back to the inside. I mean, they're not giving up. The 7's not giving these guys room to go at it extremely, extremely hard, using the lane that does not work to pass. You see the 21, he's trying. He shoves up the racetrack, nearly makes contact with a 1 car once again here at New Hampshire. but they stay side by side. 21 able to keep off of the one machine. 7's kind of hanging back, waiting on the 21 to make a move. I mean, the 7 will get in there, he'll shove it down 3 wide, have to back out, lose a lot of time. He's kind of learning here, I think, as to when to make the move. Maybe he can punt the 21 down to the inside, take the spot that way. I think that's what he's trying to do now, and never mind, he's going to shoot down the track once again, but nowhere to go, no momentum in his favor as they head down into turn number 3. Looking a little bit more through the field. How about, I wanted to mention Mark Bratcher in 14th position. He did restart the last car in the lead lap, which is about 19, so up a few spots, but doesn't look like he's going any further up. He's got quite a bit of a gap back to, or up to Jason Lester. You talked about Jimmy North with the torch down there. I think that's more like a pin or a marker. I think he was autographing the sheet metal, right?
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what, we've been watching Ben Burnett too in that 81 machine. Remember, he got sent to the back on lap 80 or lap 78. So he's already worked himself up inside the top 10 as well. So I'll tell you what, it's been a good race all night long here. I'm sitting on the 24 machine right now. He's in 6th position now. You know, all that stuff going on in front of him. You know, 24 car, it's going to be Stephen Marinac. He's just probably waiting for these guys to make a mistake. He's taken a peek on the inside of that 7 a couple of times. But, you know, I think the crew chief probably screaming in his ear just to hang on. We got plenty of laps left to go here. Just to hang on, and one of these guys is going to make a mistake up here, and that'll be able to move us forward here a little bit. But Marinac holding his own here in 6th position.
And 7 car gets a huge run down the back straightaway once again. He's going to get underneath the 21 car. 21 car losing a lot of time. 7 car stuck on the very bottom. He's not able to turn off of the corner. 21 has the run. That's Lacrosse. And he's able to take over the position, it looks like, on the outside lane. 7 car still going to be on the inside. 21's able to kind of come down in front of him. 24 almost looked like he was going to get to the outside of the 7. Now he shoots down the inside. Almost makes contact with the 7 when the 7 comes down the racetrack. 21 backed up for the 1. 7 car tries to come back, and it's back and forth with all these guys, these 4. Meanwhile, up front, David Lanza has brought that gap back down to just over a 1/10 of a second lead.
You know, it's just like riding a horse. If you ever rode a horse around an oval track, you know, they got to change their gait in the middle of the turn there. And if they don't, they kind of trip over themselves a little bit. But they'll lose a little bit of time on the bottom there as the horse on the outside will kind of overtake them a little bit. But I'll tell you what, these boys duking it out here in New Hampshire, this is a hell of a horse race they're putting on here tonight. The guys up here in front are putting on quite a show. Adam Robertson, the 88 machine, coming off the pit road, got a little bit of damage repair. Tough night for him, 29 laps down. So I'll tell you what, it takes some guts to get back out there and finish this thing. But in the meantime, it's been quite the race here. The last one in line, Douglas Wyatt, for some reason all the way back here in the back in that 12 machine. Douglas Wyatt having a fairly decent night. Started in 25th, so I'll tell you what, hippiespaintshop.com is where that car hails from.
Looking back up front, I've been watching this battle up front. 7 is able to get around the 21 finally. That's Terrell. Gets around Lacrosse, and then Marinac gets to the bumper of the 21. 21 kind of falling backwards here. 7's been really quick. I think he might be able to do something with the 1. He had to get around the 21 for that first. 21 nearly gets to the bumper of the 7, but it looks like they're all right. Arnold kind of extends his lead and then loses that extension once again up front.
All right, it's been quite a night here. 108 laps in the books as we are on the short side of the stick here at New Hampshire. So as this thing starts to wind down, I'm sure David Lanza probably looking at that rear view mirror, keeping a check on that 47 car back here. But what happened to Ben Burnett, who pretty much started out in front, led most of the laps here at New Hampshire? He's still back here in the top 10. In fact, he's just in 9th position now. Overtaking Bo McGuire in that 50 machine. But don't know whether Burnett's going to be able to get the job done here as we've got, I think, 9 to go, or 10 to go here at New Hampshire. So as the laps start winding down, I'll tell you what, you know, Burnett's got his work cut out for him. Don't know if he's going to be able to make it there or not.
Well, JD, I think we missed something big. I really think we did. When we restarted this little stretch here for when we took the green, the 47 was in front of the 33, and we've been the current leader, and he's in front of that 47.
You bet. David Lanza out there in the 33 machine. Something was up with my telemetry here, I think. But I'll tell you what, David Lanza to the front here. Lanza is looking for a big night here. Remember, he sits like 14th in the points. You mentioned him earlier. He's missed a couple of races. And here in Marinac into the 1 machine.
They're racing side by side. I think that might be what's going on. The racing side by side may have made contact, but I don't believe so. 24 looking at around the 1, the 7, the 21 have both gotten around the 1 machine. 24 looking to follow. He's on the inside, but he cannot quite get the car to turn. 1 car hanging on strong, but the 24 able to power off the corner. Looks like he might get the spot as they come up on the lap car, the 42 machine.
Down the front stretch they go. I'll tell you what, the 1 powers it into the turn, still side by side with the 24 car on the bottom. I'll tell you, all night long, the guys on the top have had the run off, but the 24 stays in the throttle, is going to get the position coming off of turn 2 down the backstretch. But I'll tell you what, Monahan is not ready to quit yet as he stays right on the bumper. And then here comes the 44 machine, and he's going to put the bumper to the 1 machine. So things are starting to pile up back here big time. About 6th, 7th position back here, Dakota.
You see, Marinac is around the 1. Campbell now looks to the inside, almost makes contact. There's the 4 and 81 together. They almost made contact as well. Remember the 4 sent around earlier, was turned around by the 81. Those two running nose to tail once again. The 4 once again in front of the 81. However, that's at the spot I would want to be in if I was in the 4 shoes. As he gets to the back of the 44, nearly turns the 44. Big incident on the off of turn number 4. Looks like they all saved it though.
Yeah, the 4, C.J. LeVere took a couple of hits there, and I'll tell you what, able to save that machine. But I'll tell you what, with 6 laps to go here at New Hampshire, this is quite the race back here. About 9th position forward here. In the meantime, up in front, it's David Lanza holding down the fort, 7/10 of a second out in front of Eric Arnold, who is now battling with the 7 car of Bobby Terrell on the bottom here. The 47 car stuck on the top, 7 car on the bottom, neck and neck down the front stretch, putting on a show for the fans. Going into turn 1, the 47 car has the advantage on the top side, but can he make it stick and hang on to it? The 7 car, that's going to be Bobby Terrell down there. He has the horsepower, but the 47, it will prevail coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, 5 laps to go. It's going to be 4 to go at the start finish line. You saw the 7. I mean, he got to the throttle, car did not stick. He had to lift. You could see that. That's how the 47 able to power off because he could get to the throttle. It would stick. So 7 loses a lot of time. Now he shoots back down the inside. He's going to look for 2nd position once again here as he heads down into turn number 1. He has to make sure he doesn't get too low. I think that's his problem last time was he got too low. You see he's able to clear the 47. 47 comes back looking for the crossover, and he's going to get there, but can he do anything? It looks like he falls back in line. I was going to say he wouldn't have the preferred line anyway as he heads into turn number 3. 7 car prevails.
And the 47 car, Eric Arnold, trying to fight back, but I'll tell you what, just could not spur that pony any more than what he already did, as Bobby Terrell now starting to drive away.
Heard somebody was in the wall. I'm not sure who. But Lacrosse.
Well, Matt Lacrosse back here in 5th position. Him and Marinac been going, into the wall again. The 21 car, Matt Lacrosse, sitting here in 5th position. So battle continues back here with 3 laps to go at New Hampshire Speedway. In the meantime, the 24 machine, Stephen Marinac, gain a couple of more positions here, up to 4th. Good solid top 5 for him tonight. Ben Burnett, we've been watching him all night, took the green flag at the start of the race, has worked himself up into 8th position, but the time has run out, Cowboy. He's got too much traffic in front. One of them be the one of Clint Monahan as the 81 almost gets sideways off the turn. I tell you what, the battle continues from the front to the back here. David Lanza still holding down the fort. Bobby Terrell is on the move, and a caution comes out, and the race is over.
The caution is for actually the 19 of Bobby Wetzel, 14th position, lap 119, heading into turn number 1. He's going to come in on the outside, the 65. The 88 comes in extremely hard, comes up the racetrack, collects to the 19, turns him around. That will end the race. 19 in the wall. He's able to drive away, but does put the caution out as he gets stopped on the racetrack backwards.
And you think David Lanza is just kind of wiping his forehead, going, "Wow, Cowboy."
I would say so. I mean, Terrell was actually catching him extremely quickly over the last few laps. But Terrell really, I mean, he was out of laps. I don't know that he could have got there because he had to make up 1.2 seconds. So, I mean, this was really David Lanza's saving grace. But either way, I think Lanza had it with the amount of laps that were left only being 1, as long as he didn't, crash or anything like that. And as he comes across the line, just took the checkered flag. Race should be over now.
You bet. And I was watching this replay again with the 88 and the 19 machine. The 88 into the 19. It's going to turn Wetzel around. Of course, that's the one. That's the one that terminates the race. And David Lanza, he'll be picking up the trophy here tonight with Bobby Terrell second, Eric Arnold in third position. And
he's getting beat up here on the baseline.
Yeah, we're watching. He's getting spun around here on the track as we watch all the action taking place here. But I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and step away. Let's take a commercial break real quick. You're watching live ETV Live Cowboy. We're here tonight at New Hampshire Speedway with Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, and what a show this has been. So don't wander off. Get ready for the post-race activities right here live. Don't wander off.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
And we are back live here in New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and I'll tell you what a race. This is the Asphalt Assault Series put on by Real Sim Racing, and what a show here tonight. 5 cautions later, 120 laps, and David Lanza in the number 33 machine going home with the trophy here tonight. David, how does it feel?
Feels great. Thank you. Yeah, this is a good win here.
Well, I'll tell you what, that last caution coming out, you had to be going, what was your thought on that last caution?
Oh, well, it's tough to pass, really, here. Everybody was pretty fast, and thank God I was hoping the 38 was going to pit. We kind of gave him a little psych there, and luckily he pitted, and I started second. So Arnold was tough. He was fast, and I could catch him, but passing him was going to be kind of difficult. I had to wait for him to make a mistake, and what do you know, a lap car, and he kind of made a little mistake, and I was able to get around him.
Yeah, talk about the passes here tonight. It's real tough. You get stuck down there on the bottom. It's not an easy thing to do, is it?
No, the car just doesn't want to stay down there. You need all the track. The high line here is where it's at.
Well, I'll tell you what, you had your ponies wired up and ready to go here tonight at New Hampshire. What a show you put on here tonight. Who made it happen for you, bud?
Couldn't do it without my teammates, Guy, Chad, and Glenn, and got to thank Hippie's Paint Shop for this beautiful car I'm driving. Douglas painted this for me. Great job there. You guys, of course, you guys do a great job, and Inside Sim Racing, couldn't do it without them sponsoring.
You got it, bud. And congratulations to David Lanza picking up some real needed points here tonight from New Hampshire Speedway. I want to throw it on down a couple of notches. I believe Dakota Ehrman has run down the stairs, down pit road a little bit. He's standing by my favorite cowboy, Bobby Terrell, the driver of that number 7 machine.
And how about Bobby Terrell comes home second, and you actually were running down the race leader at the end. You were running down everybody. I think you were the fastest car on the racetrack. We're running out of laps. Caution comes out, and you're stuck in second, 1.2 seconds behind the leader. So close, though, for you, Bobby. What a run, and talk about your night here.
Oh, man, I had a blast tonight. I mean, pit road cost me a lot. Don't know what was happening there. And then, like I said, I was just cruising when I was behind Ben, and I just I felt like I had the fastest car out here. I just needed track position, and it was just real hard to pass. And there at the end, you know, I just had to get aggressive and get on the wheel and get with it.
Hey, Bobby, I mean, what was the secret, to get you back up front at the end of the race there, to challenge for the win? I mean, you coming up short, but what was the secret? I mean, you were able to get through all the strategy. It seemed like you were able to get through traffic, had to climb through a lot of cars. What did you do to be able to get through that?
I just like short tracks. I like the flat track, and I think I had a good arc going through the corner and was getting off good. So, I mean, I was rolling in good, getting off through the center good.
And what are you thinking about for next week when we head? I don't honestly know where we're going, but what are you thinking about next week?
I hadn't even looked on the schedule to see where we're going.
Pulling it up now. We'll figure out where we're going next week here.
I'm sure I'm not sure. Like I said, I hadn't looked.
Hell, if we don't know, let's just go to the damn bar.
It is Chicagoland. What are you thinking about Chicago?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, it's one of those 1.5 tracks, so it'll be a shootout for sure, just like tonight. I mean, tonight was a blast. I've had the most fun here, and I've had in a while.
Any shout-outs you want to go ahead and throw out there real quickly?
I'd like to thank you guys at ETV, Real Sim Racing, of course, and then Hippie's Paint Shop and Inside Sim Racing for sponsoring this series.
All right, thank you. We're going to go ahead and throw it down to JD Webb with our third place finisher.
I tell you what, it's time to buy some new golf carts. That's for damn sure. But Eric Arnold, I tell you what, cowboy, buried in the points here. But you put on one hell of a show here tonight. Talk about your race, Eric.
Well, I came in here tonight, and I dread coming to New Hampshire. I've always seen it as one of my worst tracks. On a couple, I think it was a second, third restart, I got behind Lanza. I was able to follow him for a little bit and learn how he was getting around. Ended up getting some speed there and go through a couple more pit stops. It ends up being 2 tires is the way to go. So, I put on 2 tires after that second to last caution, and after we faked out, Mark Bradshire and got in the lead and just took off. I knew Lanza was quicker than me if I could just hold him there. And I slipped going into 3 there and slid up the track. He went around me. Like, I just can't believe I let that win go. But, I mean, this is just an awesome race. I don't like this track. When you can run that well a track you don't like, that says something.
Yeah, you know what, I'll tell you what, I never liked this track either, but I tell you, you had it pretty well put together here tonight, put on an incredible show. Who made it happen for you, bud?
Well, my wife back here always makes it happen for me. Definitely you guys put on some great broadcasts, and Real Sim Racing, of course. Thank sponsors Hippie Paint Shops, Pro, and Inside Sim Racing. And I think hopefully one of my buddies is watching tonight. I'm going to give out the shout-out to him. So, that's it.
You bet. I'll tell you what, tell Kelly hello from the ETV Live staff and tell her to get back in the chat room again. John Westling and the boys miss her in the chat room or during the broadcast. But I tell you, that's going to do it here from New Hampshire. Dakota, I tell you what, man, I wasn't expecting the kind of race I saw tonight. 5 cautions, really not a bad race here tonight. 120 laps. This is one of them tough tracks, but they did put on a pretty decent show here tonight.
New Hampshire is going to be my least favorite racetrack, and I think they did a great job of racing here tonight. I can't wait to come back. Well, actually, I won't be here Monday night, but I might be able to watch it. I guess we'll find out.
I'll tell you, Ben Burnett trying to duke it out here, and tough luck for him. Probably
I'm sure he led most of the laps. I don't have the stats up here in front of me yet, but picked up the pole position here tonight, hang on to that thing pretty much the entire first half of the race, and then gets that black flag sent all the way to the back, starts at the tail end of the field, about 20th position or so, but manages a top 10, Ben Burnett finishing in 8th. So I'll tell you what, Cowboy, that's going to wrap it up from New Hampshire. You want to stay tuned on Sunday night. We got some more racing coming your way. Actually, Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. You don't want to miss the Morgan Schoolie 2. This is live from Watkins Glen, broadcasted live by ETV Live with Yoni Mitchell, Will Vincent from Glacier TV, and Sean Petchin from ETV Live calling a race for you. This is a benefit race for a young man who's battling with lymphoma cancer, stage 4 lymphoma cancer. We had him on the show the other night on the radio show, and I'll tell you what, this kid needs all the help he can get. So benefit race coming July 14th at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time right here live on ETV Live. And then, of course, the standard Cora Championship Online Racing Association, I think they're off this week. So back on Monday night with Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. So tons of racing coming your way. You can always check it out at etv-eplay.net. Check out the new digs over there. And with that, Dakota Erman up here in the booth with me, Laura Lawson pushing the buttons downstairs in the trailer, and for John Wessling, all the boys back at the office. That's it from New Hampshire Speedway. We'll see you next time.